So E3 is over. There's a lot of games announced, a lot of indies and AAA games, I guess. Yeah, it was for a virtual event. It wasn't terrible. There was a lot they announced, and just go over, what we thought about the conferences in general, or any games that stand out to us the most. I'll kick it off to you, Kuma. What interested you? What caught your eye? E3.
Well, it's a game that we both forgot about. We thought it's not gonna come out for a while, but then it happened during the first night's ending. It was Elden Ring. That was the most highlight thing of the whole E3 in my opinion.
Yeah, it looked good. I want to see more of it, but I don't know. I'm not super jazzed to play it. I'm like, yeah, it looks like Souls, more Souls, but I hope they change some things because otherwise, if it ends up playing like Dark Souls again, like really similarly, because the thing I appreciate about Sekiro, even though I didn't finish it and I gripes about it, at least it feels different from Dark Souls and Bloodborne. So if they could do it like that, where they just freshen it up, but they got the horse that you could do different things with, different tricks. You could use that as like a jumping pad and jump up from like cliffs. Combat looks pretty good. I hope they force you not to hide behind a shield and use arrows for your build, Kuma, so you could actually use something different.
Oh, trust me, I'm thinking of something different. So they interview Miyazaki again, and he gave more info. So in this game, you could also be able to summon enemies you defeated to help you along. So you could treat this game like a Pokemon game. You're collecting enemies now. So I'm gonna be a Pokemon trainer,
Are
and
they gonna
this
evolve or anything? Can you breed them? Can you
well, I
mix them
haven't
in with a Miyazaki Ditto?
Well, I haven't been playing Pokemon like that, but I just know that you could treat this, you know, this new gameplay, and you could change up your build much further. And I'm excited to be using this new mechanics as well, along with the sneaking mechanic. So that'd be fun.
Do they allow you to sneak like in Sekiro?
Yeah. People been talking about how you could sneak, like, and during the reveal, you can see them sneaking up behind. I don't know if it's gonna be an instant kill blow, but I could only imagine it being a backstab, like how
Either
Dark.
backstab or you do more damage when you do a sneak attack or something.
So like a crit attack.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, okay. You've kind of convinced me as like, yeah, it'll be good.
Yeah, I mean, I always enjoy the Soulsborne game the most lately. It's not a lot of other games that really pique my interest as much or uh keep me like engaged
Right.
as long. Hmm.
It's tough because when you stop playing them for a while and then you just try to go back to it, it feels really lousy. That's gonna be me right now.
Well, you get good again. You always do.
Yeah, I still have to play the original Dark Souls, Demon Souls, and all that stuff. So one day, did they say anything about how they would implement the co-op system in that game?
Well, from what I understand, it's gonna be much easier, and once you're in the world, it will have like the in-world message and stuff. You share similar things that you see, so it won't be as like crazy.
Okay, right.
Basically, that.
Well, I hope the co-op system will be better than Dark Souls and Bloodborne because those were atrocious.
Yeah, wait forever just to find someone.
Yeah, hope we don't return to that again. But speaking of Souls kind of games, Salt and Sanctuary 2 is coming out.
Yeah, that was I wasn't expecting that because like the first game ended so well. Like how Dark Souls 1 ended so well. I wasn't expecting a sequel. I guess they um want to earn some more money. And by all means I will give my money because I really enjoyed Salt and Sanctuary. It was a very good game.
I'll try
Um
not to be so cynical and say they want more as their first game was pretty damn successful. And they're like, okay, let's do another one. Yes, everything wants money. I will try to give them the benefit of the doubt.
are you sure? Because Dark Souls 1 ended really well. The sequel wasn't required.
The sequel was made by a different studio, so I can't
How about
really
3 then?
blame
That
them.
wasn't really required either.
3
Dark
was, I
Souls.
think, the same studio. I
All
think
I'm
2
saying,
was maybe Miyazaki knew about it. I guess he wasn't in charge of it. Maybe I'm not sure the full story, but I know that it wasn't made by the same team. I don't think.
but what I'm saying that it wasn't required. Dark Souls 1 was satisfying. The ending was good. It
No,
was great. It could have just stopped there.
yeah, they could have. Just like with Demon Souls. No Demon Souls 2 or anything.
Yeah.
Or like Sekiro or Bloodborne. I know people have been like, I want a Bloodborne 2. I'm like, no, I'm good.
Nah,
One and done is
Bloodborne
fine.
ended very well. It doesn't require a sequel.
Yeah, I don't think it does. But yeah, it looks good. They said the co-op for Soul and Sanctuary 2 is you can do online now. They're not sticking to the whole local only, which they had some weird excuses for that one. I remember. They're just like, we can't implement it or it's too costly. I was like, yeah, it could be. I would believe that, but good they're implementing it this way now. So we can play online now. We can
Yeah,
actually play.
that'd be good. Hopefully they make it a little easier because we almost beat the game, but we gave up on this one area that you couldn't get through.
I don't know if it was that or it was because of the Steam co-op thing that what was that system? Is to play local games online, but that thing just crapped out and just we just did not have a good time like trying to play co-op online with that game after a while. But yeah, I we definitely got stuck at a certain area. It was got pretty damn challenging. Not a bad thing, but yeah, I'm looking forward to playing it. It was definitely one of the better Souls-like games I've played. Better than Surge.
The story's not bad. You should give it another shot.
I can't. I say I want sci-fi, but this is like industrial zones and everything, and I'm not interested in that kind of stuff.
Not the setting for you.
Yeah, it's like rig suits and everything. It's that doesn't evoke a coolness factor to me. I'm just like I'm just a dude using a bandsaw or something, or I'm just a dude using rail. Like, what's so cool about that? I don't know. I just can't get into the setting of it. I just
Okay.
not for me.
Fair.
But there was a bunch of remakes, kind of. So, at least for the Nintendo one, there's only two things I'm looking forward to, and that's finally Metroid 5. And it's been like, say it's been like 15 to 17 years since the last installment. So having the sequel be Metroid Dread is really nice because I was really into those 2D side-scrolling Metroidvanias. So it's nice to see they're going back to that, especially since Metroid Prime 4 is, in limbo right now and had to restart development. But I think this is what people wanted more. Like 2D Metroidvanias, not so much the 3D. Like I liked Metroid Prime to an extent, but I did not want sequel. I always thought the 2Ds were better than the first person ones. But yeah, there was that, and then the other highlight I suppose was the Advance Wars remake where they added a bunch of, just animations and everything. The art style is a little different. They're remaking Advance Wars 1 and 2, which is like this little turn-based strategy game. A little like anime-ish, cartoony, pixel art. The original ones were really good. I'm not really digging the art style of this one. I'll see how much they charge for it, but other than that, the Nintendo one was okay.
I thought you were gonna mention Breath of the Wild too.
I'm in the weird small minority of I did not think Breath of the Wild was that good. That it
Okay.
was average. It was a bad Zelda game. Because traditionally, like I know what they wanted to do. They probably wanted to get away from the traditional Zelda formula, which is a good thing, but I did not like a lot of the things in that game, like having to pick up new weapons every time and having your weapons degrade, or when you're climbing in that game, you could climb any surfaces, which is great. The problem is you have a stamina system which just limits you a lot, and also the weather system just screws you over because anytime it rains, it just makes you slip off any edge. And
Okay.
the story was non-existent. It was a lackluster story. It was definitely the game was definitely more about experimenting with the tools they give you and exploring the world, which I like, but I kind of was expecting a Zelda story of some kind. We didn't even get that, so it's hard for me to be excited for Breath of the Wild 2. I don't
Okay.
know. I also think they've released way too many Zelda games past like 10 years, so they need to show more love to like F-Zero and stuff, man. I don't care about Zelda anymore. They wore me out with all these releases. The Zelda.
Was F-Zero Falcon the
That's
racing game?
Captain Falcon. That's a racing, like futuristic racing game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the last one of that was F-Zero GX, and that came out in 2003. And every time they're just like, Nintendo at least, they're like, no, you're not going to release it because we don't know what we could innovate or make something new about it. Then I'm just like, well, you just released like 5 Zelda games with the same formula, and somehow you think that's okay. Yeah, I don't know. I know Zelda's still very popular. I know F Zero is not one of the more popular franchises. That's just something I preferred. But yeah, it's just those two, Advance Wars and Metroid, Metroid Dread. I guess we could go into the, unless you have any other games that you stood out to you.
uh, the other game that really stood out to me that I was surprised by would be the one from Square Enix, Final Fantasy Origin, something Stranger in the Paradise or something like that.
Something
Some
of chaos. The guy must beat chaos. He wants chaos. He must have chaos. He loves
yeah,
chaos.
the trailer was kind of ridiculous. Like the voice acting was terrible.
Yeah,
The
it was really
line
bad.
it mean the shell of it. But other than that, like I watched like you, I wasn't feeling it. I thought it was gonna be terrible and all that shit. But I watched the 30 minutes of the demo, and the demo was pretty good. It feels really great. It it looks like it plays well. I like that Dark Souls feeling to it. I'm not sure if it resembles the speed of Neo or maybe a little slower than Neo. I think they're running on the Neo engine. It doesn't look that bad either, and it's alpha. So
It looks. I don't know if
go
it
ahead.
looks like Neo. I think Neo looks better. At least Neo 2. Neo 2 looks very good.
Okay.
But
Uh,
yeah. What else do you want to say?
so yeah, I'm thinking of using the Neo engine because it's made by the same team or that company.
Team Ninja. Yeah, it could. I'm thinking it looks like I don't know. It's just the Final Fantasy engine. I don't know which engine they're using, but
Engine.
like game
Uh,
engine making the game.
okay.
I I don't know. Unfortunately, I'm comparing it to Neo because it's the same company that makes it, and they're making a Souls-like game. And I'm just Neo 2 is the peak of Souls combat for me. Like,
Oh,
there's
okay.
been no other game that's topping it right now, and that doesn't look like going to top it. It looks
No,
like it's
no.
regressing into more standard Souls combat
I see.
result. Not as
I see.
engaging.
I see where you're coming from. That makes sense coming from a Neo 2 standpoint. Yeah, it won't be as fun. But since I really didn't like took the complete leap into Neo,
Yeah,
I
you
could still
dabble more into the more traditional Dark Souls combat,
so
which
I
that's
could
not a bad
still
thing.
yeah, so I guess for me personally I could still enjoy it because I'm not deep into Neo yet. So I could still enjoy it. And because I never really played original Final Fantasy. So this if it follows any of the story or any of the lore, I could still appreciate it.
Yeah, it's supposed to set in time of Final Fantasy 1. So the main baddie is called Garland,
Okay.
and he's the big bad of Final Fantasy 1.
Okay. So yeah, so the lore, if they're doing the same style, just bits of story here and there, weapons, like just talking to NPC, so I could grab that kind of story. I could enjoy it. So for me, I don't think I'll buy day one, but I could see myself picking this up eventually just to play
I would probably I'd probably listen to what you have to say about it before I even think about it.
it.
Because right now it is so forgettable to me. Besides the awful voice acting, which
Yeah, I'm definitely switching to Japanese.
yeah. What if it's a Square Enix problem? Where's the Team Ninja? They just have an issue with the voice acting. Like it's
I
not
I don't
great.
I don't know.
I don't know. I
when I
never played Final Fantasy 7 remake, so I don't know how the voice acting is in that.
That sounds fine to me. That
Okay.
sounds fine. Even Final Fantasy 15 sounds good to me. It may have these extra tones, like how they do in anime. But
Yeah.
the grunting, those extra sounds. But I'm okay with that.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just that whoever written the line, it was too much chaos.
Do you want more chaos?
Yeah. It's either the voice actor or whoever wrote the line. It wasn't delivered properly. It was too much.
Look, I
It's
love cheese and things, but that was just ridiculous. That wasn't even funny. That was just like, oh, there's like a fine line of like good cheesy dialogue, and then that is like, okay, you're going too hard into this. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, who knows? Maybe it'll be good. I'll let you try it and then let me know for that.
Yeah, sure.
Other than that, like, I watched all the conferences, and I'm gonna go real quick. There's some really bad ones. It was like a waste of time almost. Um, yeah, I think was it Games Festival? What was the Jeff Keighley one? The one that started the first one, like pre
Uh,
E3, but I'll still consider it E3. But that's the one where it had the Elden Ring reveal.
I thought that was Xbox.
No, no, it wasn't.
No,
It was before Xbox.
I don't know.
Some Games Festival is by Jeff Keighley, but yeah, that was decent. I think the Xbox slash Bethesda conference was the best one out of all of them.
Okay.
Mostly because they're offering so many. Okay, so I figured that they would add a lot more games to Game Pass, and they are. They're adding like Yakuza Like a Dragon. They added all the Yakuza games to it.
Wow.
They're
Wow.
adding the new Forza Horizon game. They're adding Halo Infinite day one. They're adding the new Bethesda RPG Starfield to it. Like it has like such insane value now of what you can get for paying. I think it's $15 a month.
And you can play that on PC, right? The Game Pass.
I think you could play most of them. I think some of them are not playable, some of them are only on Xbox, but for the most part, it's on PC too.
See.
Because I think they're
Wow.
trying to make the both platforms equal nowadays. But yeah,
Hmm.
it's insane value now. Like that is by far the best game subscription service out there. And they're
They know
adding
what they're doing.
Hades. Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot of bang for your buck, and there's no way you're gonna finish all of it. And the caveat is you're not gonna own any of these games because you're just paying for a subscription. So if you're into actually owning that actual game, you not gonna do it for you.
Well, at this point, just treat it like Netflix. Whenever you feel like playing something, just jump
It's
on.
pretty much like the Netflix of games, isn't it?
Yeah.
At least right now. The thing I don't want to happen in the future is if all these other companies start doing it, and then just like you have to manage like 10 different subscription services, just like with like Netflix and Amazon and HBO Plus and CBS All Access, whatever. Like once it gets out of hand like that, then it'll just be a bad idea. I don't know. Can
Yeah.
you see that? Can you see them game companies like, all right, it's super successful for Xbox to do Game Pass. We should do our own. You see like Epic or Steam maybe doing that.
Yeah. I can see it happening. But it will drive competition. It will drive again, it will drive exclusive games. Maybe
Like maybe some will be on this service and some will be on this. I could see that. I could see Epic definitely doing that.
yeah,
Fortunately.
it's at the end it's still better for us as consumers, pricing wise. It just we might get a little overwhelmed too at that point. I mean, I will just for me, value wise, I would just pick the cheapest package and play whatever. And if there's a game I like that much, I don't mind just buying the whole game itself and supporting that company.
Right.
That's my opinion.
I think one of the most forgettable subscription services right now is it EA Play or EA something like that, or PS Play or whatever. There's also the Ubisoft Plus that we tried like for that free trial and never came back to it again.
I
Yeah,
mean, why? There's no point. We
no,
only we only went there for one game. Same thing with EA. I only went there for one game.
right. Yeah,
So I'd rather have like a company that has like a lot of different types of games with a good decent package price.
yeah, I agree. I think it's a good package, and they're just keep adding it.
Yeah. So as long as Microsoft keep doing what they're doing, and if other companies want to try to jump on board, go for it. Go for it. I don't mind. It will reduce the price for everything else. I would like that. And if I really like one specific game a lot, I'll buy it. I'll pay the extra money. I'll buy it stuff and put it in my shelf.
I do think there's going to be a fundamental shift for Microsoft this generation, console generation. I think they could seriously pull ahead this time because
Yeah.
now that like we looked at previous E3s and like they acquired all these studios, they acquired Bethesda. It's like they had nothing to show for it at the time, but now they're like it's like starting to roll out. Like it's starting to the time is happening where they could start showing off all these products that they acquired under, Microsoft. So then they're gonna have even stronger exclusives. And they have Bethesda, so Starfield is going to be on the Game Pass and Xbox and PC. Not coming on PS5 for a while, even probably delayed maybe, but might be exclusive to Microsoft, which is a huge
if they smart about it, they will make it lifetime exclusive, not a couple years exclusive.
Right. So
Yeah.
I think Microsoft is definitely thinking more long term. I think Sony has been thinking too short term lately, where it's like they rely on all their exclusives like, Uncharted, Last of Us, Horizon, and like
The fight,
but
they're not even exclusive anymore. They porting it to
no,
PCs.
they're PC porting over to PC, so
Yeah, so they actually lost the edge by doing that. So PlayStation is not becoming a big hitter anymore. Just people could wait.
right.
They're not really dying to play games like that.
Huh. There's only one. Okay, there's two games I want to play on PS5, and that's Demon Souls and the new Ratchet and Clank. But that's about it.
Uh,
Unless they do
what?
something else, I could wait for the new God of War. I could wait for the new Horizon and all that stuff. It's like I'm not in a hurry to get those or get a PS5 for it.
Uh, yeah, and with the way they going, all these PS exclusive might go to PC. So
Right, exactly.
and they don't have nothing else to compete with. Like if you lose the exclusive games, then you're nothing. Microsoft gonna win. They come out with exclusive and they have that pass package.
Yeah.
Sony's gonna lose because they got nothing else.
Yeah, I think Microsoft is quickly closing the gap, and soon Sony will be left behind quite
Uh-huh.
quite badly.
Yeah, I think the only last thing left for them is to put a lot of their money into VR tech and push that. That's all they have left.
That's
Cheap
still
VR.
not even advertised or promoted as much as they probably should. Kind of like a
No,
backdrop. It's like it's an afterthought. I don't even think about it the first thing. I'm like, oh yeah, they have that VR system. I forgot about it. Like I wish they promoted it more because VR is cool. When there's games that take advantage of the what it has to offer. But the only cool really VR game on PS5 exclusively was Resident Evil 7 or PS4. Sorry.
yeah, PS4.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
the standout VR title. But other than that, it's just why would you own a PSVR?
Yep. I mean, it used to be Tetris Effect, but then they poured out to PC as well.
Right. Now you could
They poured in everything that they made.
just shooting themselves in the foot. This is like what Microsoft did previous generation. They just ported over all their new releases to PC, and people was like, "Why would I play this on get an Xbox when I have my PC?"
It's like Sony's not learning from Microsoft. I don't know what they're doing.
I don't know. I think they got their head up their butts still.
Mm.
I think they're gonna have a harsh lesson learned very
Yeah.
soon.
Yep. Well, I think it'll be good for us down the road because we eventually want a PS5. If that will tank the price, go for it.
Right. I'm I'm thinking that maybe, yeah,
Yeah.
it'll probably go down. But
I
yeah,
know.
I for the rest of the conferences, I think the worst ones were by far Capcom and probably Ubisoft, and to a lesser extent Square Enix again. Those three were just why am I even watching this kind of thing? Ubisoft is creating the most standard like by the numbers metrics of what people playing right now. It's like there's like nothing that interests me from Ubisoft except for the maybe the new Mario Rabbids game. I thought the first one was decent, but a new Far Cry game, I just don't care anymore. Far Cry 5 was just not good. Far Cry 4 was not as good as Far Cry 3. I think they're retreating to a. Their games are too formulaic, is my point. It's like they had all these massive hits in the past, and now they're trying to recreate it, but they're trying to. The problem is they're not doing it creatively. They're just doing whatever worked in the past, and they're relying on that. They're not trying to do things new. Like I remember when they were pitching like what makes a Far Cry game exciting, and they're like, You need to have a good villain and everything. It's like, well, no, because Far Cry 3 just had Voss, and he was an exceptional villain, like character and villain. I don't think they really planned that out. If they did, that was brilliant planning, but I don't think they planned it. Yeah, Ubisoft wasn't great. It was not too long. What is it? Capcom? Capcom didn't even show anything really. It was DLC for Monster Hunter Stories 2, or things like that. New DLC for Rise. The Ace Great Ace Attorney game that they say is new, but actually came out in Japan like 10 years ago, but they're calling it new again.
What?
Yeah, it's weird. They for the longest time they refused to release it. They was only Japan. And then suddenly they're like, "Okay, let's release it to the US or the rest of the world." Either I think they're trying to figure out what to do with that series, or they're just trying to gauge interest if people buy this, see if they could make more games in this series. But yeah, it was like a 20-minute presentation. 10 minutes was for that new old Ace Attorney game, only in Japan. I think Capcom was by far the worst. I think actually thought the PC gaming show was better this year. There's a lot of indie games that I was like, you know what, this actually looks pretty good. I think indie games overall just they're looking a lot better. They're definitely making progress from the usual 2D platformer indie games or anything like that. Starting to get more sophisticated, which good. Good for us.
Yeah.
And then Square Enix's. Yeah, whatever. They announced well, they promoted the Avengers Black Panther expansion, which has been announced for a while now. But I don't think that's going to bring a whole lot of players back. I think that game is still struggling a lot. I'm not don't think it's going to last much longer at this rate. Yeah, I think overall the E3 wasn't bad for virtual only and coming back from 2 years ago, since last year there was no event pandemic. I think it was not bad.
Was there a virtual one last year?
No, there was nothing.
I thought there
They had
was at
to
least
they had to cancel because of the pandemic and everything was closed.
not even virtual one.
No, that's
Hmm.
when all these big companies started doing their own live streams to announce things, like Sony
Okay,
and all that.
gotcha. So it wasn't an E3, but they still did their own shit.
Yeah,
Okay.
like Sony did their thing, Nintendo did their thing, Microsoft I think did their thing, things
Okay.
like that.
So it got a little confusing to me because I thought we watched something. Or at least I thought I watched something
I
last
think we
year.
watched the Sony. I'm pretty sure we watched the Sony one, which it was talking about the PS5 stuff. It was showing off Demon Souls and all that. Pretty sure we're
Uh,
watching that. But yeah, yeah, it was a decent event. Can't say you missed much, Kuma, watching all of it.
I mean, I'm glad each one took like fucking 3 hours.
Really long. Some of it I kind of tuned out of. I was like, I'm checked out.
I
Yeah,
feel
I
like
think. Sorry.
they should summarize all the good stuff. Just keep it with the games. None of this other extra bullshit wasting people's time. They just like to like they like to like stuff it.
Yeah, I think it's too much. Cut the fat.
Mm-hmm.
People want to see games. They don't want to see. Oh, this studio is creating this. I mean, like, we're trying to expand the rules. There's like, this is to show off our new studio location. It's like nobody cares about that. Like, you really want to see Ubisoft brag about like locations of their offices. That's all it was, pretty much. And they were promoting their what is that? That gaming based on gaming show. That comedy show. They were promoting it too. Weird. But anyway, there's plenty to look forward to the rest of the year and next year, Elden Ring and all that. Oh, be pretty good.
Yeah. Still got a lot of old games to play, so I'm good to
Alright.
go.
My backlog keeps getting bigger and I can't catch up. Impossible. We'll see.